Not much I can say here. Super Mario has been one of my all-time favorite franchises in the video game world. So whenever a new game comes out, of course I want to be one of the first ones to get it. Of course, shenanigans happens and I usually get it like years later and then they're irrelevant. Like Super Mario 3D World, not Land, these are two separate games. Originally came out on the Wii U as the console's 3D Mario game, and boy were people disappointed. It plays more like a new Super Mario Bros. Game, but this time in 3D with some Mario Galaxy level design in it. However, when it comes to 3D Mario games, this was a huge letdown to most, as people wanted another unique grand adventure like Galaxy, Sunshine, and 64. Thankfully, when the Switch came out, we got Mario Odyssey, fulfilling that role, which later we would get 3D World once again, and this time it was able to fulfill what it was meant to be. A fun 3D platformer party game to play with others. However, what if I said it did give us a unique 3D Mario experience in its second wave? Oh shit. So when we got 3D World, we also got a whole brand new game, and yeah, this will be my first time experience. So now time to see what this black stain on my case is. So this is Bowser's Fury. The game starts with Mario walking around enjoying his day until he notices a black sludge around him. He gets absorbed by it and falls into a whole new world within the black sludge. You move around and Jesus, what the fuck is that? Bowser goes on a rampage until you shine his vampire ass with a cat shine, forcing him to retreat for now. Then comes Bowser Jr. Comes and explains that he failed his art project, causing Bowser to turn black and mad. The two of you join forces to fix Bowser, and we are off just to do that. Well, at least that was simple enough. Now that we have control again, how does it play? Well, the controls are the same as 3D World, along with the use of power-ups, but with the hint physics of gameplay like Mario Odyssey minus capping. Because of this, you can perform some moves like rolling and or cancel the stomp jump attack to get some more of opportunities to traverse the game. So if you play either game, you won't have much to learn. Though, I do expect y'all to play 3D World at least, since this is the only way you can own Bowser's Fury. You go around these mini obstacles courses to collect cat shines, the collectibles that need to be progressed in the game. You collect a certain amount of these shines in order to fight Bowser whenever he gets on his rampage, or as the bells refer to him, the Beast. Alone, they don't do much aside from repel Bowser whenever he's active, and cut some of his HP so that the boss fight will be easier. Each of these courses have a total of 5 cat shines to retrieve at least 2 of the shines, being destroying these Bowser blocks and collecting shine tokens. The other 3 shines depend on the course's unique challenges, and upon playing with them with like combined style of Mario Galaxy level design with the playstyle of Odyssey and the power-ups from 3D World. It's a lot of fun exploring around and finding different ways in how to complete these courses, whether using alternative jumping options to refer farther lengths, or the Katsu, which kind of breaks the game since most of these can be achieved thanks to just climbing around with some smart jump inputs to stay on the wall. So after looking at my footage, it was actually the Tanuki suit that I used to cheese the game. Yeah, I just kind of hover over everything and with just kind of cheese certain obstacles. I even use a helicopter hat to get over certain stuff, just so I can get like some shines or just pass some stuff. So yeah, it wasn't the cat suit, it was the Tanuki suit. My bad. Yeah, despite the cat suit being the main power of the game revolves around, the cat suit just makes the game super easy. At least 3D World kinda balances it with high speed and team sabotage, but here it's a single player game with Odyssey physics, so it's easy to control Mario here. Obviously this game was meant for kids in mind, but I'm a Mario guy, and I mean, look at me. I went out of my way to get the stupid mustache for this gag. Now, I did say the game is a single-player game, but if you want, you can set Bowser Jr. as a player too, but I didn't do that. All I did was set him as help a little, as I thought this would at least give the full experience of the game. He helps by either finding these question mark walls and find a hidden power-up, attack when the enemy gets too close, or tap in certain areas for him to grab like items or shine tokens. He's not necessary for the game, and you can tell him just to go away if you want, and you can change this anytime in the setting, so it doesn't really matter. Having him around is pretty helpful, and if you want, you can have a younger sibling to play as him. Junior mode is not that bad of an option, honestly, especially since we got Mario Galaxy, who's like 1.5 player mode. Well, that pretty much covers everything so far. So there are no lives, so every time you die, you actually just lose 50 coins. Similar to how in Mario Odyssey, when you lose a certain amount of coins. Plessie is a more prominent feature here, rather than just a small little like 2 or 3 levels of 3D World. And now, because this is how you travel around the game. And the game encourages you to keep playing the game rather than just collect the shine all in one go, as the game encourages you to explore and see what every obstacle has for you, rather than just stay in one level, as they only change when you finally leave the level, and then you can come back later and it'll be a whole lot different. So I think that covers pretty much everything. Oh shit! After a while, the sky will turn dark and Bowser's fury will be unleashed. During this segment, Bowser will unleash non-stop attacks to sabotage you no matter where you are at. Epic music screaming out and making the game feel tense and giving the illusion of death looming over you. But despite this, I think this was fairly balanced. Bowser will unleash spikes on you that not only are very telegraphed, but doubles as a platform that actually makes certain parts of the courses easier to travel through. I say this is a balance because of the easier paths that are available only in this mode, but you have to deal with the threat from Bowser attacking you the entire time. Now, his attacks can be easily avoided as they are very telegraphed, so you know what's coming up. But there are times when it's not easy to avoid some attacks due to possible locations and obstacles, and I think the trade-off is worth it in the end. Though I'll admit, I didn't really use these platforms that much. Whenever Bowser enters this form, I usually am near the cat's shine to repel him back. I have him break those blocks that were mentioned from before, or he eventually retreats back after some time saying everything back to normal. This will happen every now and then during the game, and the closer you are being the game, I think the more frequent it becomes. The length of his form, I think, is the same throughout the game, but he does get more attacks throughout the game, so it doesn't get stale. I have heard that sometimes his Fury mode can get annoying and inconvenient, but I didn't have that problem as I usually dealt with him just as fast as he showed up. The only annoying thing are these blocks that can only be destroyed by Bowser, as you might be completing a challenge and now I have to come back later for those blocks. I also don't have a Bowser amiibo and only knew this because of some small research for info I might have missed. Aside from that, I love the design and energy Bowser gives off here. This is definitely the most serious he has ever been, and it screams of pure raw kaiju energy. The monster's black design makes him similar to how the 1854 Godzilla was described to be, as charcoal-colored beast that destroys everything in his path, along with how he doesn't sound like his usual Bowser self. He sounds like a literal beast. It does help that this man has his own beam attack, so now I just need a kaiju-sized Donkey Kong, and there we go! We got our Godzilla vs. Kong Mario edition. This is definitely my favorite Bowser design, and it best fits with these heavy metal tracks, though intended to make him feel terrifying. Rather made the experience way more epic than it needs to be. As I mentioned, you need to obtain a certain amount of these shines to activate the Grand Bell in order to go toe-to-toe with the beast. Once you get the bell, Mario transforms into... Oh my god, this is hilarious. Never mind Kaiju Kong, we got Super Saiyan Cat Mario here. We got ourselves a kaiju fight I never knew I needed, but boy am I glad I was able to witness this. Fury Bowser has a health bar, and to deplete it, you'll need to either throw some spikes back at him to knock him down, or do some chip damage. Once down, you'll do a stomp attack for heavy damage. All this while dodging his attacks, which you'll use more every time you fight him. Sometimes the fight actually stops midway, usually after the third stomp attack, where Bowser will retreat and the process starts all over on collecting a specific amount of shines. However, he does keep his health bar where it was at last time he fought. And you do this until you collect 50 cat shines to technically beat this short story. Yeah, the game is unfortunately like 3 or 4 hours at most, but maybe even less if you just focus on collecting a specific amount of shines. It feels longer mostly because of how much traveling you have to do on Plessie, as you don't unlock fast travel until you beat the game, and how you unlock new areas every time you fight Bowser. But that doesn't matter in the end, as this sandbox world may be small, but is absolutely gorgeous and sparks a lot of personality in each island. Each one has their own theme and unique styles of levels that change in real time whenever you leave its facility. If you leave and turn around while out of boundaries, you can actually notice the islands physically change, and once you enter it through, and now you have a new challenge. It's like this mostly so you can go explore other islands and come back when you're ready to complete the new challenge. It's honestly really cool to see that everywhere in this island is within reach and can actually be explored. Especially since the Switch isn't exactly known to be a powerhouse in terms of graphics and rendering. None of the islands felt stale and each did something different, so I was always guessing on what I had to do next. Also, note, there is no loading time between islands, you just travel around and there you go. My least favorite challenge is definitely the cat shine tokens, as I am not a fan of hunting these things down, as they are very inconvenient to find.
The Plessie controls are the same here, if not better, since you don't have a party of 4 idiots trying to pilot the same dino. The Plessie missions are fun, honestly, and I enjoy trying to figure out how to get the shine as fast as possible. Once we get to 15 shines, we fight Bowser one last time in an all-out kaiju fight, which is the same as before, just as epic as before. Once he falls, the black paint is expelled from him, and we get a final boss fight by chasing him down with Plessie to retrieve the 3 grand bells. He throws everything he's got at us with all the spikes, fire breath, fireballs, and mocking laughter. This was awesome to go through, and a good way to demonstrate your ability on riding Plessie through these obstacles. It takes 5 hits to beat Bowser, so it's not that long. At least one whole lap around the map should be enough to beat Bowser. Once we beat Bowser and free the bells, and... wait.
What the fuck?
Bowser turns back to normal and leaves with Bowser Jr., who is clearly grateful to Mario, and we end with this screen.
That is the funniest thing I've ever seen in a Mario game. So that was the end of the game officially, but because this is a Mario game and this is actually a much shorter game than most, I think I actually want to try 100% this game and collect all the cat shines.
When you re-enter the game, you unlock fast travel, making it easier to complete certain islands, along with some new challenges that are only available post-game, like the Captain Toad group, some Plessie challenges, and this floating island of 5 cat shines, which only shows up when Fury Bowser is active, and that can be a little annoying. Luckily, Junior also marked where we have shines located, and those do include the Toads and the possible 5 locations where the island may be located when active. Not much different here, but it does show how replayable this game is, as I still find some more interesting ways to play through these areas. Forgot to mention, but there is an item storage here, and that can only hold each item for a maximum of 5 each. It's super easy to get these items, whether through hitting blocks, Junior's paintwork, or collecting 100 coins to gain a free power-up. Now you can get lucky and get a power star in a random 100 check, but you can't store it for later like the others. Also, Plessie's now a cat, just like everything here. I don't know why cats, but at least it keeps the cat theme from 3D World, except for Cat Koopa, he just looks weird. I love this game, honestly. It's like having a mini 3D Mario experience with the only focus of just fun game design rather than long hours of collecting. Playing this felt like some sort of demo or experiment that Nintendo might want for the next 3D Mario game, and if it is, I'm excited for what it might be. I'm glad it's more like a sandbox open world rather than a full-on open world, as they are nice. I just don't like playing them as much. I don't like the feeling of so much to do and also messing some areas up just because I went out of my way to do something else. Here, it's just do what you want and it doesn't feel like overwhelming options. All you gotta do is just Mario doing Mario things. And grabbing the shines don't feel like a chore or underwhelming to get since they are all required for some type of challenge to acquire them. I am currently playing Mario Odyssey for a later video, but without spoiling it, I do find locating moons here very annoying as some of them, you just don't earn them well. You just kind of buy them or just look funny. Here, all the shines give a feeling of achievement as they are all require at least some type of work to get them. And thank God there are only 100 of these things to worry about as I already got to do with moon inflation in Mario Odyssey. And I'm also glad that the post-game kind of justifies that you don't have to try to collect all the shines before the post-game. The game wants you to just enjoy it as you're going around to do the story, and then once you reach post-game, okay, we'll make it easy for you. Here you go, all of our hints to collect the remaining shines. This game is just a whole lot of simple fun. I can't help but smile when I play it. The overall personality of this game is just so uplifting, as if you're reliving the youth of playing your first video game. The soundtrack is great, the level designs honestly are some of the better ones in the series, and it's just the right amount of goofy and serious whenever it calls for it. And finally, when you get all 100 shines, you get one last fight against Fury Bowser, who now has his white center indicating this is the harder version of the fight, with a new moveset, boss music, and way more aggression. but this is still relatively the same fight as the last one, just a bit harder. Basically, this and the Bowser Chase fight are about the same, again, just harder. Upon completing the game, you'll get this fun painting that Bowser Jr. made for us, and when you launch the game again, now Bowser Jr. is a cat, just like the rest of the world.
And that concludes Bowser's Fury, and yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. Even with my Mario bias, I think this game is still wonderful to play, even for someone who might not enjoy Mario games that much. This might be an easy way to get someone into it. There's nothing you need to know beforehand. It plays like Mario Odyssey and Super Mario 3D World, so it's super easy to get into. It has a lot of charm. It's honestly very colorful, even with that Bowser Fury part. And those are just makes it even epic. And then my only gripe with it is that it's only available in the purchase of Super Mario 3D World for the Switch. Not that there's anything wrong. 3D World is also a great game, but it just kind of sucks. It's only stuck in that package. You can't get it separately, not even online. However, because it is a package, that's probably why it's so good at the same time. Because without it, 3D World would just be a remake of 3D World and with just tiny little switches. But with this included with it, it just makes it a phenomenal package. So, I mean, and what can you do? Also, it's a not a bad price. I believe you can get this at the time when it came out. It was like $60. Might be even cheaper now. So either way, this is a good package to get. Now, well, excuse me. I need to head off because ripping that mustache really hurt.